Dr. Susan Evans, I'm so glad you tuned in. We're going to talk to you about ways that you can lose weight. It's really important when you're trying to lose weight to keep in mind that 70% of the amount that you're going to lose is based on decreasing the amount that you intake. So you can exercise all you want, but if you're still eating a lot of calories, you're not going to lose the weight. A good way to keep track of how much you're actually eating is to actually write down what you're eating. Because so many people think that they're not eating that much, but it's a little snack here, a little snack there, a couple of chips there. But if you really wrote it down in a logbook, you realize you're really taking in a lot more calories than you thought. And when I say write it down, I mean everything. You're taking a sip of a Coke, you're drinking juice, coffee with sugar and cream, a chip here or there. You have to put everything in the logbook or you're wasting your time, and you're really going to see how much you're truly intaking. It's hard to lose weight. It's a really challenging thing for all of us, something we all struggle with. But fad diets that want you to starve yourself really hurt you a lot more than helping you. So you should run away from those. After you haven't eaten food for about 12 hours, then your metabolism can slow down as much as 40%. So there's plenty out there that want to starve you or just let you drink cayenne pepper and water or whatever type of diets that may make you lose a lot of water weight, but they'll end up slowing down your metabolism and you'll end up gaining more weight afterwards. Situations have it that sometimes they're going to do it anyway, especially the patients that I have that are in Hollywood. They have big events, they have something that they're going to do on screen, and they want to make sure that they're as slim as possible through those scenes. There's a trend out, something called the HCG diet, which stands for the human chorionic gonadotropin. And I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but they tout that they can lose a pound a day. And imagine that. That sounds so exciting. And what it does is actually speed up your metabolism. And this hormone that is typically only seen during pregnancy actually suppresses your appetite as well as metabolizes your fat. So it's an ideal scenario. You cannot do that for over a 3-month period of time. So it's something that they can't do forever. So you kind of look at it as a finite. And what you do is decrease the amount that you're taking in down to 500 calories, which is pretty unbelievable, which is essentially like 2 apples a day, a cup of coffee, and maybe some steak and vegetable for dinner, and that's about it. But because you're taking the appetite suppressant, you can do it. And because you're not eating so much, you're actually shrinking the size of your stomach. So this is something that I don't mind as much because you are still eating, it's still small amounts, you're not slowing down your metabolism, and you are burning fat, and you're decreasing your appetite, so you're not miserable through the whole thing. And granted, the pounds just melt off. And you can't do it forever, so it's not something you would do forever. So that's probably one that I support. Things that everyone should include in their diet would be leafy vegetables. Bright greens are great. Find what you like and use it. Another thing are the other kind of vegetables that have bright colors, like a red bell pepper or other type of bright things. Carrots, those are great for you. In addition to that, you want to have some whole grains in your diet. They're wonderful as far as antioxidants and making you healthy. Get a whole grain, wild rice, brown rice, make sure that's in your diet. And you want to avoid things that are not healthy for you, and we know the big no-nos. One of those, of course, is white sugar. It shouldn't even be in your house. Just remove it. Never eat it. It's not good. Don't add it. Learn to find healthy alternatives. The other thing is salt. It really is not good for you. Over 400 milligrams of salt is really a problem in your health long-term from a cardiovascular standpoint. We love it. You're used to the taste, but you can learn not to be. So let's remove that too, as well as white bread. It's not good for you, and it's something that you should remove from your house. Some of us were trained on white bread. They want their sandwiches with white bread, but it is something that you should never do. I've seen advertised that there's white bread that's whole grain. I haven't trusted that yet. You should try to train your taste buds to appreciate whole grain because there's some really delicious forms of it. An alternative to white sugar would be honey. Honey is something nice. You can add it as a flavor also, as well as a sweet taste. And there's other things that you could do, like actually putting a berry in your cereal in the morning. You could use strawberries, blueberries, things that have a sweet taste to it, and just be creative as far as what you do. You may wonder, is it true that you need to have water every day? And the truth is, yes, you do. It is not a cure-all for anything, but it definitely helps your body flush out a lot of the impurities that you would have in your system. It allows your metabolism to go. It also gives you a sensation that you're full, because you want to make sure to have enough fluid in your system. So it's a good thing to do, and it's a lot better than drinking things like soda or juices that are just packed with sugars that cause your body to start storing fat. So get that water in before you start those meals also, and you'll find that there's not as much room to eat all those extra things. For those who don't like working out, and they should be encouraged to know that if they were able to train themselves to decrease their intake, that they actually can still lose weight without working out. But working out is good for your overall cardiovascular health. I mean, your heart is a muscle, it's pumping, and if you don't exercise that muscle, it's going to be like any other muscle, just flabby and really can't function well. You want your heart to be in good condition. So as simply as walking 10 minutes, just increasing your cardiovascular for 10 minutes a day, which is good even for those people that don't like to go to the gym, in the long term really helps your heart, makes you healthier, and feel better about yourself. You hear that sleep has a lot to do with weight loss, and it definitely does. There's certain hormones that are released through sleep that aid in metabolism. So you definitely want to get your sleep. Like staying up at night, it makes you tired, you don't have the release of this hormone, and sometimes when you're tired, you just kind of eat to keep yourself awake. So it's a really easy thing to do if you could train yourself to have some good sleep hygiene. Make sure you're getting 8 hours of sleep a night. It does make a difference, and they say beauty rest is a great thing too, which is always an added plus because it can help you look more refreshed. So definitely get your sleep, and that's an easy way to lose some pounds. Gastric bypass is sort of used in medicine as our last resort of helping a person lose weight. The problem is that by the time you're so obese that you need a gastric bypass, then it's a risk taking you into the operating room altogether because you already are probably having high blood pressure and other issues that make you unstable. So what I recommend doing is decreasing your intake, which is essentially what gastric bypass does. You bypass a portion that actually absorbs a lot of the fat, and you also decrease the size of the stomach that's receiving the food. So if you can train yourself to have smaller portions, to eat more frequently but in smaller amounts, then you'll find that you're actually losing weight with just some moderate exercise rather than having to undergo a surgery that you can have more complications for. Childhood obesity is a major problem here in America, and it has a lot to do with technology and the lifestyles that the children use. As a mother of 4, I can tell you that you're not letting your kids just go roam and ride their bike and play in the streets like we used to be able to do. So the best thing for that is to see what you can do to incorporate indoor activities for your children if they're not able to go outside. There's stairs. There's places in the house that they could maybe run around that are safe, that they don't have to worry about breaking anything as well as hurting themselves, and incorporate activities in them. Teach them how to do sit-ups, teach them how to do push-ups, and incorporate activity in their life without going and riding a bike or running outside, and you'll find that they'll be able to do that later in life too and be able to keep their cardiovascular in shape and keep the pounds down.